We are counting down the top 5 whiskeys released this year, ranked by world-beating scores and major Whiskey of the Year wins. From subtropical single malts to American cask-strength legends, these bottles shattered borders and expectations in 2025. Only spirits that scored over 95 points and claimed top honors made the cut. Which country clinched the most intense flavor? Let us begin with number 5. Kavalan Solist, Fino Sherry from Taiwan. Stunned the whiskey world, seizing the top spot at the International Whiskey Competition with a record-breaking score of 97.04. Bottled from a single cask, at a fierce 55 to 60% alcohol by volume, Kavalan channels the subtropical heat of Yilan County into pure intensity. Taiwan's climate, with relentless warmth and humidity, pushes whiskey deep into the oak, accelerating aging 3 to 4 times faster than in Scotland. What takes a Speyside malt 15 years, Kavalan achieves in just 4 to 6, thanks to annual Angel's share losses as high as 15%. The Fino Sherry butt, sourced from Spanish cooperatives, brings a wave of tropical fruit, mango, pineapple, and citrus, swirled with rich toffee and a savory, almond-laced nuttiness. Each bottle is a single, unblended cask. No two are identical, and each one delivers a near overload of flavor. This is not just a technical marvel. It is proof that the most explosive whiskey experience of 2025 came from the edge of the Pacific, not the Highlands. 12 years in new charred American oak, bottled at a fierce 63% alcohol by volume, and still somehow available for under $100, Elijah Craig 12-year barrel-proof Batch A925 is the bourbon that refuses to play by the rules of price or prestige. Each year, Heaven Hill releases 3 small batches, A, B, and C, each with its own character. A 925 became the talk of 2025 for its sheer power and balance. The secret is in the barrel. Heavy char level 4, deep into the wood, coaxing out caramel, baking chocolate, and a backbone of toasted spice. Critics ranked it among the very best American releases of the year, with a score of 95.73 at the International Whiskey Competition, and a top spot on Whiskey Advocate's list. On the secondary market, bottles vanished in days. But at its core, this is a whiskey that proves greatness isn't about rarity or hype. It's about flavor that punches above its price, delivering a cask-strength experience that rivals bottles 5 times the cost. 27 years in the barrel is almost unheard of for Irish whiskey. But Redbreast 27-year-old is more than just a number on a label. Built on the backbone of single pot still distillation, using both malted and unmalted barley and distilled 3 times in copper pots, it delivers a texture so rich and oily, critics call it liquid silk. The secret lies in a cask program that marries American bourbon barrels, Oloroso sherry butts, and crucially, ruby port casks from Portugal's Douro Valley. That port influence does more than add color. It floods the whiskey with ripe mango, blood orange, and a rush of red berries that swirl through every sip. The result is a flavor spectrum that stretches from candied tropical fruit to roasted nuts and honeyed oak, all held together by the weighty mouthfeel only pot, still whiskey can achieve. Redbreast 27 is not just the oldest in its family. It is the bottle that pushed Irish whiskey into new territory, earning repeated World's Best Pot Still titles at the World Whiskies Awards. In a year obsessed with innovation, this is the apex of patience, tradition, and cask mastery. Laphroaig Elements 2.0 arrived late in 2024 and instantly rewrote the rules for peated Scotch. Instead of tweaking cask recipes, the distillery doubled down on fermentation, stretching it to an unheard of 115 hours, nearly 5 days, just to see how far they could push flavor. The result is a cask-strength Islay malt, bottled at 59.6% ABV, that explodes with the classic Laphroaig signature, iodine, seaweed, and that unmistakable burning hospital smoke. But beneath the peat, A shock of stewed apple and vanilla custard rises up, coming from first fill ex-bourbon barrels and the wild burst of fruity esters from marathon fermentation. Critics called it a masterclass in controlled chaos, where sweet and savory, fruit and fire collide and somehow balance. Whiskey Advocate named it Whiskey of the Year for 2024. By the start of 2025, Elements 2.0 was the most argued about Scotch in the world, proof that even the most iconic distilleries can still take risks and win big. Old Fitzgerald Bottled in Bond 25th anniversary stands as a monument to American whiskey's strictest code and softest grain. Distilled in 1999 and aged for 13 years in the heart of Kentucky, this limited decanter was bottled at 100 proof to mark a quarter century since Heaven Hill revived the Old Fitz legacy. The mash bill: 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley, swaps rye's bite for wheat's gentle sweetness, letting the bourbon's butterscotch, honey, and cherry preserve notes glide across the palate. Every drop spent more than a decade in federally bonded warehouses, watched year after year to ensure it met the original 1897. Bottled in Bond Act's demands: one distiller, one season, one distillery, 100 proof. The result is a whiskey layered with vanilla, dark fruit, and ancient oak, finished with a touch of leather and tobacco. Critics scored it as high as 98 points, and at the Whiskey Wash Awards, it swept double gold, Best Bourbon, and Whiskey of the Year. With only a handful of bottles drawn from those 1999 barrels, this decanter is a true unicorn, rare, beautiful, and the pinnacle of wheated bourbon craftsmanship in 2025. Across all five, one pattern is clear. Greatness no longer respects geography. Today, the world's finest whiskey is defined by innovation, not origin. The next legend could come from anywhere.